I first discovered this emotional tripwire and the exact scripts which set it off after one of the most humiliating experiences of my life. I was working as a freelance journalist, and Liam was the CEO of a tech startup. We started dating after I interviewed him for a feature on the year's biggest tech turnarounds. He was good-looking and in great shape without being vain. He was passionate about his work. He made me laugh, and the sex was incredible. Best of all, he wasn't afraid to show how into me he was, which made me feel safe enough to open my heart in a way I hadn't in years. That's why 6 months in, when he said he wanted to talk, I was totally blindsided. "I think you're great, you're beautiful, you're kind and smart and fun," he said as we walked. "You're everything I've always wanted in a woman, but something's missing. I just have this feeling you're not the one for me." His words hit me like a freight train, knocking the air out of my lungs and leaving me disoriented and confused. I pushed him to say what exactly was missing and begged him to tell me what I could do differently, but he couldn't give me an answer, and nothing I said or did would change his mind. It was the second worst day of my life. The worst came a few months later. You see, at the end of our walk, I did something I'd promised myself I'd never do. I lost whatever dignity I had left by asking him if we could still be friends. It was a mistake I would pay dearly for. We continued to text and chat a couple of times a week, send each other funny pictures or articles we found online, and check in with the odd goodnight text. I loved knowing he was still thinking of me, and that we could still laugh together, and I figured at some point he'd realize I was the perfect girl for him and we'd get back together. Boy, was I wrong. It was a Monday afternoon when he first mentioned her name. We were on the phone as he drove home from work, and he said he'd gone shopping with Stephanie that weekend. I felt a jolt of jealousy through my body when he said her name. "Stephanie?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "I don't think you know her," he said. "She's just a friend. She works with Tyler." I tried not to make too much of it, but she kept popping up on his social media. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw her comment on his profile picture. "Love that face." I reminded myself he'd said she was just a friend. I saw her sitting next to him in a group photo and reminded myself she worked with his friends, so it was only natural she'd be hanging out with the group of them. But when she posted a selfie with the two of them where she was kissing him on the cheek, it was hard not to panic. I mean, they looked like a couple. And though the image jarred me at first, I told myself she probably had a crush on him, a lot of girls did, but that didn't mean he felt the same way about her. That night, I missed him so much I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about when we first met, how good it felt when he looked at me and the sweet things he used to say to me. Then, just as my heart ached so much for him I thought it might burst, he texted me, "Hey, you up?" My heart leapt seeing his name on my phone. He was thinking about me too. My plan to wait before texting him back went out the window, and I wrote back right away. "Yep, can't sleep. What's up?" I tried to sound casual. "Nothing much," he responded. Then, "I miss you. We should talk." After a quick check in my phone's camera, I agreed to FaceTime with him. When I answered, he was sitting up in bed with his shirt off. He looked tired but handsome. His face had a few days of scruff on it like I liked, and I melted seeing him. We started talking about old times, and I saw a sadness in his eyes. I felt connected to him in a way I hadn't in so long, and all I wanted was to be with him at that moment. Just laying together, cuddling, and talking like we used to. I wanted to bask in the glow of his complete attention and to feel how much he adored me, and it seemed like he felt the same way. Finally, he said, "Emma, you know I love you, right?" "Yes," I said, my heart opening a crack. "I love you too." I felt a warm glow in my chest. "You mean so much to me," he went on, "and the last thing I want is to hurt you." "Okay," I said. "Anyway, well, you're not stupid. You've probably figured out that I'm dating someone." My stomach clenched and my throat got tight. "It's that girl Stephanie, and I wanted you to hear from me that we got engaged." I felt like I'd been slapped hard across the face. I forced a smile and said I was happy for him. He kept talking. "It came from out of nowhere. I know it's quick, but I've never felt this sure of anything before. I hope you understand." But I wasn't really listening. I was stuck in my head and knew if I stayed on the call he'd see me cry, so I made an excuse and ended the call. Suddenly, I was completely alone. My friends would all be asleep, and there was no way I'd be able to sleep now, so there was no escape from the images forcing themselves into my mind, of her laughing and touching his chest as they lay in bed together, of him kissing her passionately without a thought of me at all, of him standing at the altar with her, looking deep in her eyes and pledging his love for her. It was like I was watching a movie of the life I'd dreamed of, but with someone else playing my part. I kept thinking, no matter how much he said he loves me, no matter how great he says I am, despite all the things he likes about me, he didn't choose me. He chose her. Why? He said he'd wanted someone smart and funny and playful, and he told me I was all of those things. Then what was I missing, and what could I have done differently to make him feel as certain about me as he now was about her?
If you're ready to take action now, please click on the link below this video for more information.